The objective is to add and subtract more than two fractions. Here we're asked to add together 1/5 plus 3/5 plus 2/5. You might recognize that 3/5 and 2/5 already equals 5/5, so you may choose to add those together first. Then we would have 1/5 plus 5/5, which does equal 6/5. An improper fraction is not in simplest form, so we could break apart 6/5 into 5/5 and 1/5, and rewrite it as 1 and 1/5, so that the sum of all these fractions is 1 and 1/5. Here we have 3/8 plus 3/8 plus 2/8. You'll notice that we have like units. 3/8 plus 3/8 is 6/8. So we added those first two fractions together first. What do we still have to write for the expression? Yeah, plus 2/8 still. So we took those two to add them together first, but we still have plus 2/8. Be careful with that sign as we continue to work with either addition or subtraction as we're working with these fractions. 6/8 plus 2/8 does equal, right, 8/8. And we can write that as 1, or 1 whole. Okay, you give it a try. Work this out. Did you recognize that we have 3/6 plus 3/6 here? That we could add those together first to be able to get 6/6, which does equal a whole. We would still add that together with 2/6, and then so that 2/6 plus 6/6 is equal to 1 and 2/6. Now you might have just added 3 plus 2 to get 5, and 5/6, and then added 3/6 to it to be able to get 8/6. You might have shown a decomposition for that as 6/6 and 2/6 to know that it equals 1 and 2/6. Give yourself a pat on the back if you rewrote that into simplest form, which would be 1 and 1/3. We would be able to divide the numerator and the denominator both by 2. Here's another problem. You'll notice that we're subtracting this time. We're starting with 11/9, we're subtracting 4/9, and then we're also subtracting 3/9. Let's work this out. We'll start with 11/9 minus 4/9. Keep the 9 the same. 11 minus 4 is, right, 7. So the answer here for this right here, 11/9 minus 4/9 is 7/9. And here you'll notice that we're subtracting 3/9 from that. 7 minus 3 is 4, and we're talking about ninths. So it equals 4/9. And so the difference here from 11/9 of all of this here is 4/9. Now you might have solved it by starting with 11/9 and then subtracting the sum of 4/9 and 3/9, because we'd be subtracting both of those. 11/9 minus 7/9 does equal 4/9. Be very careful, again, with the signs and whether or not that your answer is getting bigger or smaller. Here's another problem. Here we have 1 minus 5/12 minus a 12th. We can start with 1 minus 5/12. Let's rewrite 1 as how many 12ths? Right, 12. So we have 12/12 minus 5/12, and let's not lose the minus 1/2. So 12/12 minus 5/12 is 7/12, and then we still have minus another 12th, which equals 6/12. If we put that into simplest form, in this case we're dividing the numerator and denominator both by 6, we would get it equal to 1/2. So we've shown all of our work below of how we can work through this particular problem. Okay, it is your turn to try. We have 1 1/5 minus 2/5 minus 3/5. I suggest that you take 1 1/5 and rewrite it as an improper fraction. Pause the video while you do your work. Well, if we break it apart into its wholes and fractional parts, that would be 5/5 and 1/5, which does equal 6/5. So we have 6/5 minus 2/5 minus 3/5. Looks like we're subtracting not only 2/5, but also 3/5, which is actually all equal to 5/5. So we have 6/5 minus 5/5, which equals 1/5. You might have taken 6/5 minus 2/5 equaling 4/5, subtracted 3/5 from that to also get 1/5. We are to show that with the visual model. Here is 0, here's 1, and then 1/5 away from 1 would be 1 and 1/5. Separate this into fifths. First, it would be 1 and 1/5 minus 2/5, so we go from here to here. That's minus 2/5. So first off, we would get to, 4/5, and then we would still subtract 3/5 from that. So 1, 2, and 3 minus 3/5, and we would end up at 1/5. Let's show this problem and show our work in a couple of different ways. Let's see. So let's just go 1/6 plus 3/6 to begin with. That equals 4/6. We'll still keep the 5/6 here, and 4/6 and 5/6 is 9/6. And then we can go ahead and rewrite that as, 1 and 3/6 divided by 3 divided by 3, that equals 1 and 1/2. Let's show that another way. Oh, look, I recognize that 1/6 and 5/6 already. By reordering it, I notice that that already equals 6/6. So I have 3/6 plus 6/6, which I know equals 1 and 3/6. Divide by 3 in the numerator, divide by 3 in the denominator, keep the whole number the same. 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 6 divided by 3 is 2. The third way I could have done it and shown it is to add together 3/6 and 5/6 first, added in the 1/6 from there, and then showed my answer back into simplest form. So there is more than one way to solve it. You have to be very careful with those signs, and we are very, very lucky, very fortunate that as we are learning this, that we have like units. We're dealing all with 6 there.